Welcome to ProServe 2012 training videos. This is set 1, more lookup tables, warehouse, user and user groups, terms, and custom profiles. Let's take a look at the warehouse. Now the warehouse really is where you're going to set up your company name and your information. And there's a lot of options here that you can turn on and off. You can set up your printing options for your sales orders, invoices, statements, reminder notices. Set up your default tax rate if you're just basically, collecting a basic tax rate. Otherwise, you'll have to use the sales tax table, which I'll show you in just a little bit. You can set up comments here for your invoices and comments for your statements. You can also change the header on your work order form, your sales order form, invoice, and reminder notice. So you can control the header there. Okay. Let's take a look at our security. Let's take a look at the user groups first. There's basically 4 user groups that's included in the system. You got your administrator, you've got office manager, you've got power users, and you've got basic users. Now what I'm able to do, and I'll just select the office manager to show you. In this group is where you control all the accesses to the program, all the options and menus and things like order entry, post orders, post work, post payment. So you can control whether this user or this group, is able to do these things. So that's how you can control that. So if I come out of that and look at the users, what I'm doing in users, I'm simply assigning a user to one of these groups. Now you can add more groups if you need them, but the system pretty much comes with 4 basic groups. And within the user file is where you set up their email account and their email server and information and password, so that this particular user would be able to send email out through ProServe 2012. And if we take a look at Larry Bob here, see he's a basic user. And he don't even have email set up, so he can't send email. This one's an office manager, okay, which doesn't have email. So use this screen to set up each user for your organization and assign them to the group that fits, what their capability should be within the system. Let's take a look at term. We've already looked at departments pretty much. In lookup tables, you can modify any of these things. The unit of measure, ship via, and system comments. And you need to, you'll come in and maybe utilize this, but you'll see later how this comes into play. So all you'd have to do is just click add to add more comments into your system comments, as well as service units and counties and miscellaneous codes. Let's take a look at terms. Well, my terms file, pretty much you can set up terms. You can use these that are in the system. You can turn, what you may not want. You can just turn it off if you don't want to use it. Rather than delete it, you can just turn it off. And it'll stop showing up in your list when you're assigning a customer a terms. So you can just control your terms from this screen, whether it's interest on it or not, and how many days is it due. So that if a customer, when you post a work order, if it's due in 5 days, it will automatically set the due date based on what terms that you may have assigned that customer account. Let's see what else we got. Zip codes. Eventually, you need to go in and set up your zip code file, which means you need to go in and add all the zip codes and cities, to cover basically the area that you work. Now, you can add zip codes from the customer file maintenance screen as you're working easily enough. But normally I try to encourage people to go ahead and set up as many as they can so you can kind of avoid that when you're setting your customers up. But it can be done from the customer file when you're adding a new customer. Users, system passwords, this is controllable by an administrator, so all these are defaulted to password, and you could come in and change them as needed, and just gives you a little more security in the system. But as you can see, the defaults is just simply the word password. We covered that, terms. Let's take a look at the custom service profiles. Now you can modify and customize all these things. You got areas treated, section 1, areas treated, section 2, target pest, and then the service site profile. Okay, and you can modify and edit any one of these. There's up to 10 for each one. Now I'm going to show you where this is coming from and why you might want to, edit this and customize it to fit, what you want out of the system. I'm just going to pull up a customer. And show you where that's coming in. If I go to edit this service account, go to profile, there's where the service site's coming in: residential, commercial, apartment, warehouse. Okay. Now let's pull up, let's go into order entry. Well, let's don't do that. Let's post a work order. Here's my areas treated 1 right there. Here's my areas treated 2. And there's my target pest. So all of these things are coming from that one area. So you can customize each one of those so it can function throughout your system and be customized to fit your needs. And all that stuff prints on the work order tickets as well. Let me just show you right quick. On our standard work order forms, they're pretty much designed to, to handle all those customized, areas. There's my areas treated 2, and then there's target pest, and that's the site profile, service site profile. So you can see how that flows throughout the entire system. Let's see what else we got. User defaults. Each user, based on their login, can set up their defaults, and there's a lot of them here. And you want to check each one out and figure out, exactly what they do so that you can pretty much customize the program to behave, and the way that you would want it to. And that's per user. Okay, that's how that works. I think that pretty much covers everything outside the departmental files that we've already looked at in previous videos. So I think that'll do for now for this video. So thanks for watching.